I know even the fact that even niggas have that mindset.
Yeah.
If we had that mindset, imagine a white woman or a white man had that mindset.
I mean, but that's my point though, isn't it? Wouldn't it
it's
fair to
it's ingrained.
I'm sorry?
Huh? It's ingrained. It's been ingrained in us for too long that we have a perception of white men that's different than the perception of black men. It's just how
it just playing devil's advocate. At some point, would they not start thinking about self-preservation? Is actually my question, and I don't care who answers it. It's just, at some point,
when haven't they?
I mean, well, that's true. I mean, they got sent to the Caucasus Mountains, and
the last time I checked,
they had to figure some shit out.
50 years ago, if you whistled at a white woman, you get lynched. Last time I checked, so they always had a perception of self-preservation.
Yeah, me being racially ambiguous, because I mean, I've dealt with all nations. I've had a Cuban best friend who had blue eyes. I've had dealings with all nations, and through the media and the stereotypes that they've given black people, most of the nations demonize us and look at us like we crazy.
Yeah, the kids were screaming. I would say, I know when Israel was talking to Nate and he was saying like how big IUIC is over the world. He was like the world, but they actually do have 20 international sites. Mm-hmm. So that's international camps. So they are doing things over the world. I think it's a misnomer of saying that the Israelites are like a black military or whatever, because it's not. That they move off the Most High. Mm-hmm. So the idea y'all think they're gonna be freedom fighters for whatever's going on. No, the minute Israel understand the curses, they understand what needs to be played out. You know what I'm saying? Christ knew he had to die on the cross. He wasn't ducking his smoke. That's them men, they ain't ducking no smoke. So everything that needs to play out gonna play out. They know when to move, and the Most High tell them when to move. And that's gonna be the only time you see them shed blood. When they know when they supposed to do it. So I don't think that you should think it's gonna be some simple thing. Everything has to play out within that role. So shout out to Israel for bringing that up, but I think that would be the misnomer. Reese, you into basketball, you got the Knicks thing. If you ever seen somebody have an Achilles injury, they never play the same. Yeah. So don't ever think that every single slave revolt that ever happened ain't taught white people how not to play with us. They don't play with us in the same way. They don't. So all of it matters. All of it does. Every pushback, every revolt, everything. So the Gullah Geechee, the Israelites, all black men standing on the front lines actually doing things. And it's one thing to see them go viral for what they say, but these people have community. These people have feasts. They're feeding their people. They're taking care of their people. They're celebrating the Most High's holidays. They're keeping that intact. They have programs for women to come there, be taught how to be wives, be signed up not to be whored out or anything like that, to find suitable husbands, to have proper families. They're doing that. They have education systems and all of these different things. If you go inside of a camp, you would see it's so much more than somebody screaming on the street corner. And even whatever they're telling you, they're trying to edify you. It's nothing in that Bible about following the laws and living the way that God expects you to live that would deter the black community in a negative way. But we've allowed all other type of doctrine to come in and all type of other propaganda to come in, and we've been able to follow that blindly, and that's led us to a negative path. We ain't had that much pushback when niggas drop crack off in the neighborhood. But we got so much pushback for the niggas pushing what the Most High want us to do. We took that easy. So I would just definitely hold that to that. Other than that, Jay Prince have some valid points. You know what I'm saying? His overall point is we're so quick to critique black people. And it's not just the Pookies and the Ray Rays, right? We critiquing the men of God. Whether it's NOI, whether it's Israel, we're so easy to pick up and talk about what they not doing. And then even if you want to be that big critic, when these white people do stuff, call it how the fuck you see it. Stop pretending like you no longer can critically think. Stop pretending like you don't understand nuance. Stop pretending like you can't see what the fuck it is when it comes to those people, because you got magnifying glasses on your own people. And you beaming that shit through the sun. You burning us with the magnifying glass, and then you acting like you blind to all the bullshit that these white people do. He's just telling you to stand firm on what you're doing because it looks crazy. So that would be the overall message within that. So don't be just so crazy to disrespect your history. Like he said, we got our own selves into some bullshit we can't get out of. That's how you know the Most High put you here. You can't get out of it yourself. You niggas is gonna bow down regardless of what you think you're gonna do, or you gonna die. Ain't no way out of it. You got in it one way, that's the only way you can get out of it. So that's just the truth of the fact. And if you don't want to face that truth, we're gonna keep on arguing. But don't disrespect the men who doing what they supposed to be doing, and they ready to go when the Most High tell them go. But they not moving on every dumb thing that happened in the street because they understand how the curse is supposed to play out. So that's what I have to say within defense of IUIC. So shout out to Bishop Nathaniel and everybody moving how they supposed to be moving over there in that camp.
The floor is open.
Wow, she is a wise woman. She is a strong woman. She is so wise. And that's why I was trying to say it's a spiritual battle. And I'm trying to clean my life up. I am my worst enemy. So I have to follow the Most High laws so he can protect me from my fleshly enemy, which would be the pink man, which would be Esau. And that sounds extreme to a lot of brothers, because a lot of brothers, the pink man will give you $1 million and now he's your best friend. But that's the way he tricks you. I'm a light-skinned brother myself, but both of my parents are brown. So it's not a color thing. This is a bloodline thing. And Sherelle, she really gets it. She understands it. And this is not for everybody to understand. But I understand it.
Hey, question for Israel. Genuine question. I've never had the opportunity to ask somebody this, so I'd like to ask you. You seem to really believe that the white man is your enemy and that they wish the worst for you and everything like that. Sincere question. Why do you stay? It's not an underhanded question. I'm not trying to be funny. This is just genuine question. I've always felt that if I felt that way, I've always felt that I personally wouldn't want to stay somewhere where I have to feel like I'm living amongst my enemy. I wouldn't want to stay. So I've never had the opportunity to ask someone who feels that way. So I'm asking you, why do you stay here if you don't believe this is that you have to live amongst your enemies?
That's a good question.
Well, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So they took over Africa. They took over Israel. China is not my people. So no matter where I go, my people are not in rulership until the Most High puts the children of God into rulership. So no matter where I run to and I hide to, I have to accept that in the kingdom is finally when my people will rule for eternity. So if I have to lose my body and lose my life now, my people will rule for eternity. But right now, if I go to Africa, the same people who sold me into ships, slavery, is going to rule over me. If I go to China, they're going to rule over me. So there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. I had a passport at 12. I went to Australia at 12 as a young black man. I went to Jamaica at 13. And ain't nowhere to run, ain't nowhere to hide. I had a passport since I was 12.
Is the white man still considered your enemy no matter what continent or what country you're in?
Yeah, this goes back to Jacob and Esau in the book, and we've been enemies since Genesis. We are enemies. Like it goes back to Jacob and Esau, and yes, the pink man is the enemy. The red man, who you can see the red through his skin, he is the enemy. It is what it is. Straight up.
To what extreme would you go to be not dependent on the white man in any shape, form, or fashion?
First, I have to win this spiritual battle, and then that's where being saved comes from. The Son of God is going to save us from this battle of Jacob and Esau. God is going to save us from this, and no man can save us. Martin Luther King couldn't save us. Malcolm X couldn't save us. this is the creator's doing.
You know, I understand what you're saying too. There's a thing I have this fixation, this fascination with people who are committed to like really living their they don't F with the government, they don't do this, you know, maybe the Nuwabians, if I'm saying that correctly, Dr. Malachi York and all those guys, I remember back in like 98 or something, I got invited to this area in Georgia, I think it's called Edenton, Georgia, where they had taken this area and bought this land and they were building it, I think called it Kemet, and they were building this back. It was all this land and stuff, right? I was supposed to go, but I actually didn't end up going. I'm glad I didn't, because that was when they got raided by the FBI that same weekend. But nevertheless, my point is I do respect them and the Amish people and the people who live off the grid and say, you know what, we don't want nothing to do with none of that stuff. So the way you dress, back to you, Israel, the question is the way you dress, the way you eat, the cell phone that you're probably using right now, the internet that you're using. When you're saying you're trying to, you reference something about the physical, the flesh. Are you saying that as you grow and learn more about mastering that, that's what will allow you to relinquish more of that interaction? If I'm making sense, does that make sense?
Yeah, and here's my thing about the government. Like, I used to have a criminal record. I had a felony and 9 misdemeanors. I went to the courthouse, paid $1,700 to get rid of my felony. I got rid of my 9 misdemeanors.
Got rid of a felony for $1,700?
I've had a job. I have a business even registered with the government. I'm not saying that. I just know my people are in a punishment, and a lot of us are comfortable in our captivity. And it's not that I'm anti this, the government and all that. I'm just saying, like, what God has promised us is that the people who rule the earth now are going to get double the slavery that we got. They're going to get 1,000 years of slavery and they're going to be destroyed. This is in the book of Obadiah. So right now, I'm just aware of my captivity. I'm aware of my punishment, and I'm being as smooth as a serpent, harmless as a dove. So, I mean, I deal with the government. I have a speeding ticket. I got to go to court for my speeding ticket. But when I look at that judge, I see the devil.
I guess, but 2 quick questions to that. One, what does that mean, your captivity? And 2, is it, and this question can be anybody on the panel that wants to answer it, is it fair for us to assume that all white people are the devil? Is it fair for them to assume that all of us are whatever?
I think we're already at that point.
Especially white men. Yes,
yeah.
I would say white men.
Thank you, Chicky. I definitely want to hear what you have to say on that, if you don't.
Yeah, I think we're already at that point. I think the fact that there's been a rise in far right and white supremacist beliefs and almost a takeover in the Republican or the right, the far right or the right party is a problem. I think the fact that big names are like Tucker Carlson and others are pushing this idea of the great white replacement theory, right? That this idea that they're being replaced because of people of different nationalities and ethnicities. I think they already see us that way, and it's a growing idea. So we're already at the point now, right, where white people are making it more clear, more plain that they see us as enemies because they think we see them as enemies. So I don't know.
Do you think that they have validity to think that we see them as that?
No, I don't think they have validity to think that, because there's nothing that anyone of color has done to be empowered to oppress or do anything. Now they can have.
When you say empowered, you mean like government stuff?
Yeah, right. So when you look at Congress, when you look at the Senate, when you look at the military, when you look at anything involving any actionable reason or power, they still maintain majority of that. So I'm not sure where the threat is coming from.
So, all right. So bring it down on a lower level, right? Just for conversation's sake. So you have, imagine this. I'm a white dude. I work at a factory. I dropped out of high school and I was in 11th grade, whatever, right? All I do is go to work at the factory, got my white wife. I don't bother nobody. I got my little trailer out in the cut, whatever. You Georgia boy, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So for some of those guys, right? For some of those type of people who are seeing the stuff that they see when they see their coworkers, who are maybe somebody in their family got robbed. Maybe some tragedy happened at some point. Somebody got robbed. Somebody beat up somebody. Somebody, whatever it is. Somebody showed them death. Whatever, right? Not the people who are in the highest form. I'm just talking about just regular people. They don't see I don't believe that they see the deepness that we see because of what we've been through as a people. We see I tell people about conspiracy theories. I say that because of the conspiracy theory, everything ain't a conspiracy theory. Some of the shit has been true and some of it's not true, but you can't fault my people for being concerned about stuff because there's been times we probably should have been concerned and we weren't. But I guess the point that I'm trying to get to come back to the white dude is to say, for those white folks who that don't give a shit, you know, it's white folks don't give a shit about none of that shit. I'm not saying they're not racist. I'm saying they don't give a shit about government. They don't care about politics. All they want to do is ride their motorcycles and do whatever. For them, I think that they may be having a different experience than and their experience, they may feel like their feelings are not being validated. You got a bunch of liberal white people telling white women, saying that white men, everything's their fault. You got black people on award TV shows saying it's the white man's fault. You got white women at the LGBTQ awards saying it's the white man's fault. I'm not saying that they're wrong or right. I'm strictly speaking I'm playing devil's advocate. Do you think that they wouldn't have a concern? Even with the fact that, and lastly, we could, over a certain period of years, they could be, and y'all can correct me on the term eugenics or whatever it is, they can be, over time, they can be phased out, right? If enough cultures keep mixing with white folks, you know, eventually they're
can I respond to that real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I think the white people that you're talking about that are just oblivious to everything that we go through, that's part of their privilege. They have the luxury to be oblivious. Even if you're not an overt white man, you still benefit from perception, from your history. Just by being a white man, you benefit from all of that, even if you're not an overt racist. So you have that privilege of just being walking through life, being oblivious, and not having experience as me as a black man. You have that privilege as a white man. So just by that fact alone proves that there's an imbalance, there's a power imbalance.
So as a black man, do you have the working knowledge and understanding of every other cultural male's perspective?
White men, yeah.
No, I'm not talking about white. I'm just saying me and you, we two guys. I travel. You sound like you're well traveled or something. I've seen you on here before, whatever.
Not really. I don't travel.
All right. Well, you sound like it. It's good shit. But the point is, though, what understanding do you have of a Cuban man's experience? Or what?
I ain't say Cuban because it's black Cuban.
I'm
black
specifically
Cuban.
saying that. I'm specifically.
Yeah, but it's black Cuban, so I'm not really gonna talk about.
Okay,
Cuban.
That's fair. All right. So, what experience do you have of other ethnicities? Like, how important is it? Sometimes I wonder, do we feel like everybody should know stuff about us, but we don't know stuff about everybody else? I'm not saying anybody's wrong. I'm just saying.
I know this because I know even niggas think like this. If you see two black men in a hoodie at 1 a.m. in the morning walking down the street, you're gonna kind of like clench up a little bit.
Absolutely.
If you see two white boys in a hoodie at 1 a.m. in the morning, you're just gonna be like, whatever.
No, I'm not.
Even niggas got that perception. So I know the fact.
What side of town we at? The white boys.
Nah. I don't care. I know even the fact that even niggas have that mindset.
Yeah.
If we had that mindset, imagine a white woman or a white man had that mindset.
I mean, but that speaks to my point, though, isn't it? Wouldn't it? Isn't it fair?
It's ingrained.
I'm sorry.
Huh? It's ingrained. It's been ingrained in us for too long that we have a perception of white men that's different than the perception of black men. It's just how
it just playing devil's advocate. At some point, would they not start thinking about self-preservation? Is actually my question, and I don't care who answers it. It just at some point.
When haven't they?
I mean, well, that's true. I mean, they got sent to the Caucasus Mountains, and
the last time I checked,
they had to figure some shit out.
50 years ago, if you whistled at a white woman, you get lynched. Last time I checked, so they always had a perception of self-preservation.
Yeah, me being racially ambiguous, because I mean, I've dealt with all nations. I've had a Cuban best friend who had blue eyes. I've had dealings with all nations, and through the media and the stereotypes that they've given black people, most of the nations demonize us and look at us like we crazy. Like we're a peculiar people, like we're nuts. And it doesn't matter your degrees, your master's degrees, you a black lawyer, you a doctor. These nations, they really don't love us. and we have too much love for them. So how I do it is I look at them the way they look at us.
Isn't that just perpetuating the cycle, though? Then that just kind of
can I say something?
But that's the thing.
Yes, sir.
The cycle, it doesn't get to break. Like you can say, oh, French fries ain't chips. Chips ain't mashed potatoes. All that shit is potatoes. I don't give a fuck what shape you keep manipulating something to be in. What it is at its core is what it always will be. I don't care what you make shift. Yeah, if the devil has a seed, the seed produces the devil every fucking time. The devil ain't producing other shit than himself. If the devil has a seed, it produces the devil every single time. He dropped the seed gonna grow up to be the devil. He ain't creating no new shit. It ain't no new cycle. What you are is what you always will be.
Is the solution? Is the solution to any? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut. Go ahead.
People can play, people can pretend, people can shapeshift, move form, but at the core, who your being is, that's who you are.
That's fair.
And let me say this. Let me say.
They learned how to manipulate themselves. We learned how we are humans. We learning how to manipulate. But guess what? What God created in the first place is what shit is. We learn how to manipulate things and make things look different. But all at the root to it, only thing that's here is what God created it to be. What we manipulated it to be, it don't change it from what its original creation is. So when you asking like, do we see all of them as the devil? How could the devil produce anything outside of itself?
Go ahead, JP. Go ahead. You got it, bro.
And I think the biggest problem for Black people is that we don't see is a problem, right? We have accepted defeat, and now we're at a point where we living within this defeat, right? We don't consider it. A lot of us don't even consider it as defeat. If you got some Black people talking like this, you got other Black people mock me or mock that person and make fun of them. So I think that the biggest thing that what happened to Black people is fear of dying. Guess what? We all gonna die. What matters is what story gonna be told, one. Secondly, what you put in place before you left. Guess what? From our age down, they don't have nothing to say. When in the history books, they don't got nothing to say. Just some more niggas that used to live from the age of from 1980 to about 2030 or 2050, right? We're gonna say that to 2050, y'all didn't do shit, right? But if you go before the 1980s, you had the million man marches. No matter what they did, even the ones that I could downplay, they still did something, right? But the ages from 1970 to 2050, they didn't do shit. They lived their life they lived their life, didn't do shit. And the war is still on them, but those group of people that didn't do a motherfucking thing.
Is it possible that there may be some things going on that you might
I don't know why we so comfortable. You think that you gonna live forever, right? So at one point we're gonna die. So if you with that understanding, if you know you're gonna die, and you in an active war, I'd rather participate in that war. It don't matter if you don't participate or not. It's still a war against you. They not only just your physical, they taking you away from your family. They doing it to your kids. They turn your sons gay. Your sons wearing purses. Your daughters, they telling them that they can have babies at 13. Your sons, they telling your sons that he has the right to remove his penis, and you don't have, and all you thinking about is, as long as I gotta go to work and everything.
You talking about the average person?
Bro, it's a war against you. They got different type of methods of warring against you.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But my question though is two things with you. Is there things going on? You think there's things going on that you just may not be aware of? You personally, I'm asking a question to you.
It's not the fact that I'm not aware of it. A lot of times I'm afraid to be aware of it because it's going to urge me to do something that I'm afraid to do.
No. Oh, let me be more specific then, brother. What I'm saying is, the question I'm actually asking you is, I referred to HAMP as my brother earlier. HAMP and I are in the same fraternity, right? And so
I knew y'all was talking about frat.
I got you. And so my thing is this: I know that locally, my chapter, and then as well as the state of Florida, and then nationally, there are mandated programs and things that we have in place that across the nation, across the world, because we have international chapters, we are doing these things, right? And is it possible? I'm sure you may have heard of the D9, right? So there's 9 organizations all together, and everybody's doing something. Everybody's trying to give back to their community in some shape, form, or fashion. So is it possible that some things are locally going on in your city that are addressing some of your concerns, and maybe you just don't know about it because you don't fuck with them type people?
No, I think that they not doing what's supposed to be done, because
they're not doing it the way you agree with.
Hold on, let me finish my answer.
I'm agreeing with you, bro. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, the reason why, let's just say Frat's doing all these people doing stuff. One thing I didn't hear, if they was doing something, I didn't hear on the news white folks is complaining saying, okay, we got these group of black men, these group of black people is attacking us in some forms or fashion. We not hearing none of that. So when you saying that these people are doing something, might be doing all it is, and I'm just not aware of it, that would have hit the news, main news immediately, where everybody would have known that these black people is attacking them. I think the only leaders that we really had in post these days is the gangbangers, the GDs, the Vice Lords, the Bloods and Crips.
They can't all unite though. They're not united.
I think no. Y'all can sit up here, because at the end of the day, I got a history in physically protecting black women, right? I got history. I'm just saying, I got history of protecting, being with my homeboys, sliding with my guys, right? I got a history of that. But when it comes to bro, I just think that black men. I think these are the conversations.
So to answer my question,
let me land with this, bro.
Right, I got you.
I think that the goals that we've been having shouldn't be goals, right? Because at the end of the day, we have history that told us once you did build infrastructure here in America, the white man came and burnt it down, called Black Wall Street, all them other groups, and woo out the bam. When you do want to become a leader, all of our leaders died, no matter if they was peaceful or gangster. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, they all died. Martin Luther King got murked by them too, and he was peaceful. So basically, if you not, I don't think the goal is to go get schooled and all this other type of stuff to thinking you living like the white man and remove all of that history because you don't want to face the facts of the position you are in here in America. I think that we should be creating something that's going to be more beneficial. And I think you got to start with the military first. And I think that we all got to be one mind first. I think that should be the movement. That should be the goal, to become one under one nation, unified.
So the answer to my question was basically the people aren't doing it the way that you think is the correct way for them to do it. So I can respect that. I mean, you're gonna deal with whatever groups are usually aligned with your principles and thoughts.
Are you okay with the position that black folks are in, especially black men?
Absolutely not.
Why not? What's wrong with black men leadership today?
Oh man, I think a lot of black men, unfortunately, because of the plight of the black family, I believe that a lot of black men haven't been taught how to actually be black men. I believe that.
So what you gonna do about it? Like, they took you from they hold you out your family. What you gonna do about it?
I was about to tell you, but you started talking.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So, So I think that the father that we need to tighten up as men and be better fathers. We need to be more present in our children's and our families' lives. We need to get back into letting I think we need to get back into letting the black collectively as a village. We need to be okay with other good folks being able to correct our children. I think we need to come together and work as a better cohesive unit. What I'm talking about first to you, I don't know if you want me to say something militant and wild.
No, I'm saying in order to stop these people from taking away building on your family, it's not the woman you got to address or black men that wasn't there. You got to address that system. I think we keep ignoring that.
Hold on.
Let me land with this.
No, because wait, because you gonna keep saying this, and I just wonder about, like, it just feels, and I'm saying feels unserious. Like all this about like the Bloods and the Crips. Why people keep getting arrested if they so militant? If people are such crash out oriented, how you keep going to prison? You see, I'm thinking if you said you so called allegedly did a whole bunch of things, why does it stop at Jake? Why does it stop at police? Where does all this bravery go when Jake pull up on the block or whatever y'all call him, 12 and all that? No, in order to be effective, you have to be organized, right? You have to be in sync. That shit is foolish. You got so many people not even knowing why they beefing with each other. We need an order and structure in a whole lot of things, up to and including whoever thinks they militant. You know, you need order and structure when it comes to our families. I mean, we are so unorganized and we just saying shit.
100%. JP, the thing is,
I think that's what everything in black groups in America, because they wasn't taught how to fight. Black men wasn't taught warriorship, and nowhere in the white man's education have gonna teach black men how to warrior. So when they do create something, yes, it's gonna be misdirected, and they're not gonna have it. They're not gonna have that masculinity.
But JP, I hear what you're saying, and then you'll say in the next breath, right? The brothers who in the military are X, Y, and Z, right? So where do you learn these so-called tactics from? What do you know how to do that's violent and organized?
If I wanted to teach you about combat, or teach you about,
hold on, let me respond to him.
JP, if I wanted to teach you about close quarters combat, or if I wanted to teach you how to operate,
I wish I could have a conversation where both of us don't have to worry about the controls. Just because you got the controls don't make you right of these platforms.
What are you saying? Wait. Retract that statement. Wait. Retract that statement though, right? Because I
said just because you have the controls don't make you right.
Yeah, but don't wait. Well, let me just tell you this. No, it's not every time. It's not every time. Now, here's what I haven't experienced in a while. People making those type of statements, right? So no, people get to talk, right, until they over talk, and then I have to interject, right? So now it ain't about control, and I don't know why you said make me right. We about to have the conversation to see what makes the most sense.
Okay.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. But you can't just go on long soliloquies, though.
Make it make sense. I'm trying to make it. Well, what's soliloquy? I mean, your whole movement is soliloquy.
Soliloquy.
It's all talk.
No. Do you know what a soliloquy
Even
is?
with the Israelites.
Do you know what a soliloquy is? I use that word on purpose. I'm saying I'm saying a soliloquy is when a person has the floor for an elongated period of time to the point they just start talking to themselves. Right. So what happens is when you get the floor, you'll say, I have a question, and then you'll just make a statement. Right. That's not something that should happen. So now if you want to address what I'm saying, just address it directly. You don't have to say I have the controls or anything like that. That's unnecessary.
Yeah, but this whole time, I was trying to speak, right? Other people, men on this platform had like a half hour to speak, but then when I keep getting cut short, and this is why a lot of times when I do speak on your platform, it might seem like I'm saying a bunch of bullshit because first off, I got to rush my whole fucking thoughts off. I don't mean to cuss on your thing. It's still respect.
That's how I like. That's how I like it to be done, and often
express how I feel about the situation.
100%, and just be accurate. Right. And what also happens is HAMP will say this is what JP means and clarify it quite often. Right. So let's just be honest in the assessment. Now let's have the conversation that we was having without the pre-qualifiers to try to skew the opinion.
No, I'm not trying to skew. No, I'm keeping it with
what were we saying?
Black groups. What I'm saying is all of these.
What are you saying?
I
forget what we was talking about.
All of these black groups. It don't matter from the NOI. It don't matter from the Israelites. It don't matter. I think that the organizations, the black community is more bolder, right? They a lot more bolder than the ones that actually did have all these cops that got deleted by Israelites. It wasn't from no NOIs. It was mainly from the street guys. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
So all of these white people that did get something physically done to them, it wasn't from no NOIs, it wasn't from no Israelite, they was from them gang members. It wasn't from them organizations, right? You can say that they go to running and stuff, but They grew up around femininity, and then they've been misled and bamboozled, but it's something that's innately inside of a thug to realize that these people is not my friend. I shouldn't be the most people that don't receive the white man's education or don't believe the white man's story is the niggas in the ghetto. So they already at a good start. They just need to be led correctly. That's all it is. The people that got these college degrees, a frat, basically a educated legal game, right? They don't want to call it that, but they more further away from themselves and further from the truth than the gang members. So we're not going to sit up here and pretend like the gang members didn't bring no value, Hamp. They really did. They just been misdirected. They wasn't raised with a warrior upbringing. So we didn't have, unfortunately, black men across America continent didn't have no masculinity and warrior upbringing. We was raised to submit. That's all what we was raised to do is to submit. Go to school, get education, go work. Basically go slave. And then follow the rules of the land, the laws of the land. Basically be subservient. We wasn't raised to sit across that table from the government to create our own flag. We believe in we don't got our own God. We don't got our own God. We the only race in the globe that got to share God with our enemy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hey, JP, you know what? I love JP's passion, and brothers like him, if he was trained like Tyler, that would be a dangerous thing with his mindset. But the thing is, we don't even understand that the God of that book, he doesn't love Esau. He only loves us, and they tricked us. It's all trickery, and brothers like Jay Prince with his attitude, he needs training, he needs discipline with that attitude, and he needs education, like real education, not indoctrination or the pink man's education. But I do love JP's spirit, and his spirit is going against that enemy. But he needs the knowledge like a Tyler, the knowledge like a Hamp with that spirit. And then boom,
Boom, what?
like boom, we have because
then the nuclear bomb.
Because the spirit that JP has is he knows these people ain't your friends. These people are the dusty, evil enemies. But it's just he needs that like war training that a brother like Tyler has. I need the war training that a brother like Tyler has. But Tyler can't trust his enemy. I think that's the problem. No offense, Tyler.
No, go ahead, brother. Finish up. Finish.
Because your enemy is going to be the one in the end to give you that mark. He's going to be the one to actually turn on you. At least you're prepared. At least you're somewhat trained and prepared.
I think that it's cool. I don't mind because it doesn't really bother me. I think you don't have the right perception of me. I don't know what y'all think I am or who you think I am or what I do. I'm down for my people and I'm locked in for the cause. But I'm also able to move in and maneuver through different rooms because of the things that I've done for the last 30 years. My people are my first focal point. They are the thing. But the thing about it is like this. Here's the thing that I tell people all the time. I always use this as an example. I do have a little bit of a fight background, but I'm gonna just use Hamp for an example. I know Hamp owns a gym and he coaches boxing, right? I'm a smart guy. Hamp's a smart guy. You went to college. I went to college. Whatever. If I go in Hamp's world, I'm going to shut the fuck up, and I'm going to allow him to walk me through the sweet science of boxing. The thing about it is when we come to, there's several times that myself and Aaron, even earlier, we're talking to you guys, and we're actually talking to you from military perspectives of observation, savannah terrain, the art of war. Sometimes beating your enemy means that we have to have the troops submerged into the mix of the enemy so that we can get intel. And then once we have the intel, we put all these things together and then we put things in motion. Combat in war is not always about shooting and blowing some shit up. The CIA doesn't do that often. They do most of their work by embedding themselves in amongst the enemy and then spreading propaganda, right? And so the things that it is you have people here who have information. And then when they're trying to share the information, you keep over talking us and telling us to shut up. Well, you didn't say literally shut up, but you're over talking us. And you're saying that our points are weak and we don't believe in the people and this, that, and the third. And the truth is, going back to the HAMP thing, I'm just trying to show you how to get in your stance. We can't even talk about fighting and uppercuts and this and that when you don't even know how to hold your hands yet. So I'm trying to give you the game. I'm going to try to give you the game. But because I'm not speaking the way you speak, it went to the question I asked earlier, just referencing back to JP. There are things probably going on at JP City. I'm going to just use the D9 again. There are things going on at JP City where people are probably trying to engage the community and doing different things. JP may not align with that shit. He may not like how they doing it. So since he don't like how they doing it, he ain't even trying to hear the shit. And so if he's not trying to hear it, how do you have people like us who have different perspectives, who have different, I'm literally friends with Congress people, right? And I'm only referencing that, not saying they're the end all be all of everything, but what I'm saying is there are rooms that I can get into, and the rooms I've been in, none of you will ever have the opportunity to be in those rooms, ever. And the point of the matter is if I've had the opportunity to be in those rooms, I've had the opportunity, I don't know if anybody knows what the SCIF is, right? Special Compartmentalized Information Facility, right? I've been in those SCIFs after listening to HAMP, listening to the things y'all are talking about on these panels. And then I go into these rooms, right? And I'm sitting in there and we in them rooms and we doing the stuff we do. And we all just sitting around and then we have these conversations and these talks. So some of the stuff that y'all are even saying, I've taken this information into these rooms around these people or taken these things that you guys are saying into these rooms so that I can get perspective on what we may need to do to move as a cohesive unit. But the long
and that's
short
valuable. So like, why do we? And that's like, but that's super valuable. So like, why? So like, I don't understand this hyperfixation on just one aspect of civilization or creating a civilized nation or whatever you want to call the black movement. If Jay Prince wants to be Secretary of Defense and go and be the AKA Black PXF, fine, but we will always need a Nate to do the politicking, which is why the U.S. relations across the nation, when it comes to Iran and other, they play politics is important. You can't get rid of politics. We can't just force. We can't just force our way through things, and because we don't have the manpower, we don't have the funds. War costs money. Like there's so many aspects to civilization and how to run a nation that if you're not even familiar with just the basis of it, then you'll completely bypass the offering that Nate just said. He's got connections to Congress.
You know what? Hold on.
Why
I get what
why are we
Nate is
bypassing
saying.
that?
Listen,
that is a big deal.
Let me say this right quick.
Hold on. Nate,
what is happening?
I get what Nate is saying, but like I said, my stepfather, he has a master's degree. He's been an attorney for 30 years. My uncle is Robert F. Smith, who's worth $10 billion, a black man. It don't matter how many rooms you gonna get in, them people is gonna snake you in the end, period.
But that's where I go down. That's where I go down.
But they're gonna snake
die on the cause. If I'm fighting the cause, if we're working together as a team, right? And my job is I'm gonna go into those rooms. I'm gonna be the intel, right? I'm gonna be the secret spy. If my cause is I die while I'm doing that, then maybe you're right, Israel. But if I'm getting the information to give back to my people on how we need to maneuver, but you're not even gonna listen to me because you don't want to hear what I have to say, then what are we talking about?
I will listen to you, Nate.
Let me say this right quick, Israel.
Nate, you're valuable. Nate is very valuable, and I'm gonna shut up.
I wouldn't necessarily believe that.
Go ahead.
I won't say that you're valuable. I get what you're saying, but I think you will be the infiltrator that you speak of. Okay. Because one, you publicly saying is that you be in these rooms as if these people not going to see you in these rooms. So to come in to pretend like you our brother like that, bro. At the end of the day, you signed up for 35 years of your life for the government, the whole opposition. Okay. You is not going to try to convince me that if we have an uprising, help them or created some of the uprising, you going to be the one to go back tell them government and get us all cooked. So I think that just because this were the idea of skin folk don't make you kinfolk, because he said that he want to put his people first. No, what the people that you put first was whites, because the first people that you should have been fighting for with your life is when they was removing your black men. Probably don't remove you from being in your family. So you didn't put them first. So at the end of the day,
Are you creating a narrative for my
you
life?
have shown us. Wait, you have shown
Are you creating a narrative for my life?
You will betray the black movement instantly because one, you work for the government. I don't trust. It would behoove us to trust people that retire from the government.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Who's not going to go against them for us?
I got a good question for you. Did Harriet Tubman work for the government?
Probably. Yeah.
Didn't Harriet Tubman work for the Department of Defense, the military? Didn't Harriet Tubman help the military with the Civil? I don't know, was the Civil War or whatever. Was she involved in that? Wasn't she working for the government?
I think so.
You got to go through them to get power and money. You have to go through your enemy
I agree
to get the money.
Sorry, I thought that was somebody else.
That's how I got my money. That's how I got my money is through the evil people, which is sad to say. That's
I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm speaking to JP though.
But that supports him. That supports what Nate do.
No, you good.
Literally what I'm doing.
That ain't about nothing.
You know, I still love you. I still just because we have our war tactics, we go to war on here. I be expressing what I'm feeling in that moment. I don't mean harm. I mean,
JP, you know I don't be that's regular. That's why we able to talk it out and keep the conversation going. It ain't about nothing.
And keep it going like
don't be nothing at all. Yeah,
But I love JP.
I seen y'all play spades. Y'all be wilding.
I'm starting to speak JP language a little bit now, so I'm starting.
Well, one thing, Nate, Israel, I'm trying to understand how versed you are though. Because do you know the commandments?
No, I mean I know there's 613 commandments.
You don't. Well, don't give me. Just you don't know the commandments though, huh?
Oh, do I know? Yes, I do know the commandments. Of course, I study diligently.
You know all of them?
Day. Do I know all the commandments? I've read all 613.
Yeah. Do you know them?
Yes, I have. Like the 10, thou shalt not steal.
No, 613. I'm saying 613.
I've read them, but do I have them memorized? To be an honest man, I don't know if I have all 613 memorized, but I've read them, of course.
Okay. Because I understand what JP's saying, right? But when you are leaning on people to say, hey, you know, this is who we are, you got to make sure that you also give the instruction based on what's being said, right? Because if you read Deuteronomy 32 as an example, who's vengeance for? Who exacts vengeance? Okay, but you haven't been saying that, right? So you got to be you have to be, when you're telling people who they are, you have to also make sure you offer the correction if that's the platform that you push in this instance, right? You could use Romans 12 if you would like, but I prefer you go to the law, right? Because that's how you need to build your platform on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, Hamp, that's why I joined, because I could tell you're not an average brother and you're well read.
Yeah.
You're very well read. And my thing is, I just believe in self-defense, and I've been persecuted all my life.
Stop right there. That we agree, right? Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah. If people bother you, people come at you, give them fucking hell, right? We agree with that. You know. I just think that people get a little bit lost up in the Psalms a little bit when King David is doing his gangster rap shit. You know. And he says, I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee. I hate them with a perfect hatred, and I count them my enemies. They build a tumult against you, so we on their ass. That's King David's job, right? You see, but I just want to make sure that we clear in terms of how we need to move accordingly. That's why what Nate is offering, just about learning, understanding, leveraging, getting inside, understanding who it is you're dealing with, is very important. And then you do need a strong arm just in case shit hit the fan. You know? So all this should definitely come together, you know. I think calling people that like saying it potentially be a turncoat, you know, you have to infiltrate things. You have to infiltrate so you can destroy them from the inside out, i.e. 9/11. Right?
I.e. what's happening right now in politics with the far left and the far right.
Yeah.
These things.
And that's so
Nate is such a big deal, bro. Like what he just said, I think is like being under, like Nate is he is a huge deal about things that we keep talking about we want to do. And we can't keep bypassing it.
But this part though,
let's not do that.
This part, Nate, you said, right? But this I think this is where that gives them cause for pause when we saying, well, what are the average white men doing, right? You know, how do we know they feel these ways? Lyndon B. Johnson said it. You remember what he said?
No, not
If
right
you
off.
make him feel richer, the poorest white man will be fine as long as he feels richer than a nigga.
Okay, and that's fair. That's an absolutely fair statement, and I'm with that. The questions that I asked, and I know
they were pertinent questions, though. I'm not. I just it was what you said that popped in my head. I didn't talk for that in that time span.
For sure, and I'm trying to reach the people. I try to feed the babies. You know what I'm saying? I don't try to feed the baby steak. I'm trying to give them applesauce, right?
Indeed.
But you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, the people who don't know what they don't know, they have a stance, right? And you know, one of the biggest things, and I keep kind of going back to fight analogies, try to keep everything here. I remember when I first got into combat sports, I thought that I was a southpaw. I'm right-handed, so I just thought I lead with my right hand. And I actually just talking to he the bros too. He crossed the buoy. But I was talking to Dog the other day, and we were talking when I first started training with Team Lloyd Irvin in 2008 in Maryland. And this dog I was talking to, he told me when I got there, he was one of the coaches at the camp. He said, "Bro, this is your stance. This is how you stand to do your boxing." And I said, "No, I'm a southpaw, and this is how I'm supposed to stand." He said, "Okay." And then we got in the cage, and he kicked me in the fucking face. Pardon my language, he kicked me in my face. And my point was, he told me what to do. I went to the school. I paid the money. I signed up and said, I want to learn. And then when somebody tried to teach me, I told them I know what to do already. And that's the thing that I feel like I run into a lot with my people is you have people out here, you have people on these platforms, and they're saying, well, black folks don't do this, and nobody's doing that, and no one is doing this. One of the greatest things that I'm glad I got on this call today about was Sherelle spoke at length about speaking about is it the ICU? Did I say that right? ICU?
IUIC.
Say it one time.
IUIC.
IUIC, right? And she dropped some gems and some things that I wasn't aware of, right? But even with my question, I know that these people do more. My question was to engage to get him to say that they do more. But I'm glad that she spoke, and she said a lot of really awesome stuff. We need to have these conversations. We need to have these exchanges. But you can't walk into these rooms and walk onto these platforms and feel like you got it all figured out already, because you don't. Each one of these faces that I can see on this screen right now, we all have something different to offer, and we all have different energy and passions about what we're trying to do. You know, I was messing with JP a little bit when we first got on and going back and forth. And even with Israel, I was messing with him too. But then as he spoke more and I listened more to what he had to say, I recognized that even if I don't agree with everything that he's saying, he believes what he's saying and he means it and he loves his people. JP loves his people. You know, I think we all care. But the thing is, I think we all need to be open to critique, and people who are afraid to be humble and to have humility and accept that they don't know what they don't know. That's how we stay trapped in the situation that we're in, because I'm sitting up here bringing information and saying, hey, I can do this. I know how to do these things. And this brother straight up told me, you work for the government. We don't trust you. Okay.
Yeah.
So I do what I always do.
Yeah, when you look throughout history, that's how white people conquer the world. They know how to infiltrate. They know how to infiltrate, and they know how to tear apart from the inside.
100%.
When they went to the Native Americans, you know what they did? They went to one tribe. They said, hey, I'll help you if you take over them. Then they went to the other tribe. They said, hey, I'll help you if we take over them. And before you know, them tribes killing each other, but the white man got the whole country. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
White people know they smart. They know how to do that stuff. So that's what we need to figure out how to do.